Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for this is your March bonus reading. And you have this forgive card and this reflect card. So it could be a good time to reflect on who to forgive or what to forgive. A lot of people have had like these forgiveness cards this month, which kind of makes sense. I mean, we have two retrogrades, Mercury, Venus going retrograde this month. So, and we have two eclipses as well. So it could be, one of them in your sign. So, like I said, just adding it all together, a lot of you could be you can't make this up. You have another forgiveness card. So clearly it's a time to forgive the past or, something that you've been through or something that you have dealt with. And I feel that would be a good idea. I think I said to your opposite sign as well, Pisces, that it might be a good time to forgive yourself for something. This could be even with this Five of Pentacles as the outcome. The Five of Pentacles can represent calling attention to your weaknesses or needing to focus on your strengths. And it could say you need to forgive yourself, for that. You start with the Nine of Wands as your general, how you're entering into the reading. And so the Nine of Wands, of course, is the wounded warrior. Nine of Wands can represent, perseverance, needing to not give up on something. I definitely feel you're not giving up on something, really. I mean, I feel you have the Chariot, you have the Ace of Wands. These are two very, motivated cards, and the Ace of Wands is kind of, out with the old, in with the new. So it looks to me like you could be not giving up on, a new idea for your life or a new direction, and I feel that would be great for you, Virgo, with these cards. Now, the Nine of Wands, you have the Magician as your crossing energy, which we'll talk about, but I think the important thing with the Nine of Wands in the Magician crossing is experimentation. The Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So if you're trying to get something to work, anything to work in your life, experimentation could be your best friend. And again, your crossing energy is a Magician. So this could say that you're not seeing the tools that you have. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross. And he has mastery over all the suits in the tarot. These are all the ace versions of all the suits in the tarot. And he needs to make sure that he's using the right tool for the job. So if you're trying to get something to work, like your business or your career or, a relationship, it's you might be approaching it from, a logical perspective with the Ace of Swords, but maybe you need to approach it from emotions, or maybe you need to approach it creatively, or maybe you need to be more practical with the Pentacles, right? So I feel that this is really just talking about experimentation in life and being willing to try, different ways of doing things more or less. I think that would be very helpful for you. And again, this doesn't even have to be for problems either. This could be for good things. We can always make things better that are already doing well. So, the Magician says, make sure to use your tools that you have at your disposal. Next, in the area of your thoughts, you have the Seven of Swords. I personally like the Seven of Swords. I always say golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what. Now, again, if we had the Devil, the Tower, and the Magician here, which we do have the Magician, but, if we had the Devil as well, or the Ten of Swords, I would say, sure, be careful of liar, cheater, stealers. You should still probably be careful of anyone who's a liar, cheater, stealer. But, again, showing up in the area of your thoughts, the Seven of Swords is a card of tactics. He is stealing these swords from this army in the background here. So instead of going to war, he is stealing the swords. It basically says pretty much anything that we want to do, there's probably a better way to do it. We just have to discover the better way to go about what we're doing. The other thing about the Seven of Swords is he has these polka dots on his cloak, and polka dots in the tarot can represent taking things too seriously, needing to be more playful. In the regular March readings that I did for everyone, pretty much everyone had something about needing to be more playful. So I feel this month, it's almost like it's a month where we should just play with our ideas. We should just see what happens, see if we can get things to work, and, not be so focused on the outcome. Maybe that's really what this card is saying is instead of needing things to go a certain way, just allow them to go whatever way they want and kind of follow your inspirations, right? Next, in your foundation, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Really good card for foundational energy. The Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness. I really like when people get Pentacle cards in the area of the foundation because it's pretty much the perfect place for them to show up in a Celtic cross. Again, she has very good, strong foundational energy. She's focusing on what she has right here. We have this rabbit right here, which can represent fertility and abundance, but the rabbit can also represent fears and anxiety. But the whole point of the card is that she's focusing on what she has. She's not worried about what she doesn't have. But, again, coming up in a foundational position, it kind of says that that is how you are operating this month. So just like a good energy for you to embrace this month, plain and simple. Next, in your past, you have this gecko card. It says longevity, agility, and cunning. You have this discus fish card. It says society, vibrancy, and co-parenting. I do feel like some of you literally could be co-parenting or setting up like a co-parenting situation. And you have the sun. And so the sun says things will be going very, very well. I also feel that there's something about like nutrients popping into my head here. But like I feel, even though this is showing up in your past position, I kind of feel that the sun is saying like there are things that give you nutrients, but not like the things that you eat. That could, that could be part of it. But you're a Virgo, you probably eat, cucumber salad every single day or something like that, right? But so you probably are very nutritious. But what I mean is like, the things that fill you up. Do you have things in your life that make you happy, or do you have hobbies that give you energy? Do you have things that you can lean on those difficult days, right? And that's what I would be focusing on here with the sun. The sun is all about joy and happiness. The sun makes the whole entire reading a little bit more positive, but really what I feel like it's talking about is like finding those sources of energy in your life and then taking advantage of them when you need them. And again, this could be anything. It could be like, positive videos you watch on YouTube, positive movies that you watch. It could be a hobby. It could be going for a walk. But I feel it would be a great time for you to discover like what is nutritious to your soul, right? And that's what the sun is talking about. Pretty deep message on the sun. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have another forgiveness card, and you have this knowledge card as well. We are definitely in a time of knowledge and wisdom, so I think everybody needs to start turning knowledge into wisdom, meaning you learn something and then you put it into practice. So that would be a good idea. I do feel like some of you need to forgive yourselves for things that you missed out on with that Five of Pentacles. We'll talk more about it at the end, but that's really the feeling I get. In the very near future, you have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is like this or that thinking. We are definitely not in a time of this or that thinking. We are in a time where we might be thinking something will go this way or this way, but really it's going to go that way, the island behind her. And this is where kind of like that a more playful, happy-go-lucky energy will be very beneficial for you with the Seven of Swords. Again, if you are too attached to the outcome, you're going to have a hard time because it's going to look like things aren't working on anything that you're doing. But I think if you can just say to yourself, I'm just going to follow the clues. I'm going to follow the breadcrumbs. I'm going to follow my bliss. I'm going to follow what feeds my soul, right? Then you're going to have a really good time. And yeah, sure, maybe there will be some bumps along the way. Maybe you're going to have to learn other ways of doing things. Three of Swords is my card of third place solutions. And people always ask me, what are third place solutions? It's just a solution no one's ever thought of before. Everybody thinks this or that for like every issue that exists. But, you might be able to discover a different solution no one's thought of. And those are the solutions that are going to be the most beneficial. Next, in your outcome row, you have this Enlightenment card and this potential card. You could be being enlightened to the potential that something has, which makes sense because you have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is out with old, in with the new, but it's also very inspiring, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the potential card, there's a mountain on this card, so yeah, you're probably going to have to put work into something that has a lot of potential. But I always say, where do you get the best views? At the top of a mountain, and you are Virgo, you are the Hermit. The Hermit has gone through something challenging to get to the top of the mountain, and I feel a lot of you, and he's done that to kind of like gain enlightenment, right? He's been looking for his inner light, so a lot of you could be searching for your inner light or finding it. Over the next few months, you have the Justice card. Really crazy. Almost everyone has had the Justice card for these monthly bonuses. Kind of makes sense, I guess. Eclipses sometimes balance things out, right? So, sometimes we have 2 eclipses this month, one in your sign. And, sometimes when we have eclipses, we could be eclipsing things out of our life to create balance, or we could be more focused on balance. I do feel the universe is encouraging you to focus on balance, especially with that magician. The magician, like I said, crossing might be saying you're only using one tool for the job, but maybe you need to use two tools for the job, with the magician. Maybe you need to mix things together with the magician. The other thing about the magician is that you might need to balance yourself out. He is a card of reinvention. It's like if you want to become something like, successful in business, then you might have to reinvent your energy or yourself to become that thing. And, a lot of you could be working on that with the Justice card. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Chariot. Pretty good card. Chariot is a card of victory or success. It's also a card of like hard control and taking control. So a lot of you, like, I'm not saying you're being controlling or anything like that, but you could definitely be taking control of your closest relationships or your social life with the Chariot. This could also say that you are moving away from a group of people, which definitely has come up for you before, Virgo. He's leaving the city behind him behind. So he's leaving everything that he's always known behind, and he's looking for alignment. Really, he is on this journey of finding a place where he actually belongs, or where he can resonate with the people. And so he is looking for a new city. And some of you might literally be moving, or you could just be looking to find your tribe. And I feel this has definitely been like a long-term message that you've been getting with me. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Ace of Wands. Really good card. Ace of Wands is inspiring, so you could be feeling very inspired in the near future. The Ace of Wands is also out with the old, in with the new, so I feel a lot of you could just finally be ready for something new in your life, which would be great with the Ace of Wands. You could also be focused on, creating new opportunity in your life, which I also feel would be really good with the Ace of Wands energy. On top of that, I feel you're feeling very creative. I think that's something that Virgo kind of like hides. I've known a million Virgos in my life, and every single one of them has been like super creative, but they like hide it or don't use it or don't think what they create is all that great. But it always is. So I feel that you should not be too critical of your creations. You have the Five of Pentacles as your outcome. Again, Five of Pentacles wants you to focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. And that's pretty much all I would do with this Five of Pentacles, is make sure that you're not focusing on the reasons. There's probably plenty of reasons why you can't do something right now. But if there's one good reason why you should, then do it, whatever it is. It's probably creating something new, whether it's a new life, completely a new, reinventing yourself with the Magician, creating a new identity, which has come up for you before, all that stuff. With the Nine of Wands and the Magician, you have the Sun again, which is amazing, definitely. Having the Sun twice is very positive. The Sun shines a light on you. So I'm pretty sure that a reading I did for you recently was really saying that you were standing out. So it's an amazing time for you to stand out and get attention. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Temperance card. Sometimes I feel with Temperance that he's trying to perfect something. It's funny that I just said that thing about creativity, right? Because it's like, I feel that Virgo sometimes can create something and they still see all the flaws in whatever it is that they've created. But really, most people would see it as perfect, right? And so sometimes I feel with the Temperance card, it's like he's trying to perfect something but really there's no point. He could just get off on this path here. He doesn't have to keep trying to turn water into wine. He can just get on this path. This is the path to glory. So instead of trying to be perfect, he could just, start his journey, and he will learn that there is no such thing as perfection, number one. But number two, he would learn that, the journey to perfection is through making mistakes and just putting things out into the world, right? With the Queen of Pentacles, here you go. You have the Hermit. We literally said it. So this is you showing up in a very strong position. Whenever you show up as yourself, puts you in a position of power and strength. And this is showing up in the foundation position. Showing up as yourself in the foundation position is really good. It says you are coming from a strong foundation, or you have created a strong foundation for yourself. It's funny that we said that you could be climbing to the top of the mountain. Again, he has his light inside this lantern on the Hermit. So a lot of you have been on a long journey to find your inner light. And we have a lot of light in the reading. We have the Sun twice. With the Sun in the past, you have the Three of Swords. Forgiveness, again. The Three of Swords is about removing those swords from your own heart. The Three of Swords is about forgiveness, because we have to remove those swords from our heart through forgiveness, and that's how we set ourselves free with the Three of Swords. But, Three of Swords in the past would be good, because it would say you're healing from a heartbreak. With the Two of Swords, you have the Two of Wands. Yeah, entering into a new world. We kind of already said this with the Chariot. The Two of Wands, he needs to get into the world. He is standing at the top of this castle. Something behind him is complete. This wand stands on its own, and he's reaching forward to this new wand, and that new wand could be something new. It could be a new project, a new inspiration with the Ace of Wands, It could be a new idea. But he needs to start working on that new thing, and he needs to realize that everything in the past is complete, everything behind him, and he needs to start, taking the lead and moving forward. So I feel that would be very good for you as well. With the Justice card, you have the Queen of Swords. I feel a lot of answers coming in here. Let's say you had something happen to you in your past. I feel you could be getting a lot of answers on why certain things happened to you, or why you had to learn certain lessons. I feel very good about this in a weird way, Virgo. In some ways, I feel that this Queen of Swords is almost setting you free. Let's say, I also think that Virgos put a lot of pressure on themselves and beat themselves up over things, and that's what I feel like you're setting yourselves free from with that Queen of Swords. It's like you're setting yourself free from something that happened to you, and it's like you're not beating yourself up anymore. You could be seeing the lesson in a situation. It could be literally anything. I'm not getting anything specific popping into my head here, so yeah, that's what I'll say about that. With the Chariot, you have the Six of Cups. I think it would be an amazing time for you to get together with friends. The Six of Cups can represent innocence and nostalgia, and this area of the reading represents all your closest relationships. So I think it would be a great time to, nurture your close relationships, get together with people who matter to you, have fun with people, things like that. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Nine of Wands. Yes, the Nine of Wands says don't give up. You have the Nine of Wands twice as well, but he's leaning on one wand. The Ace of Wands is one wand. The Two of Wands, he's grabbing on to one wand. There's clearly something new and inspirational that you could be working on or working towards. And yeah, maybe you have been beat up in the past with the Nine of Wands. Maybe you are the wounded warrior, but I really feel this is encouraging you to keep working towards something that you want to accomplish, and, don't be afraid to reinvent yourself. Don't be afraid to, present yourself in a different way here. I feel that will be very beneficial for you. And also experiment. The Ace of Wands is an inspirational idea, but we have to keep putting wood on the fire. I always say Ace of Wands is only a spark. We have to get that spark to grow by feeding the spark. And you could do that by experimentation, right? If you have a new idea, you could try different things until you find what works. And by doing that, you're putting wood on the fire. With the Five of Pentacles, here you go. You have the Star, more light showing up in your reading. The Star is a card of hope, faith, and renewal. The Star also says all things are possible. The Star, she is pouring this water onto the land here, and that water is coming from the pool of universal consciousness, and it's flowing out into the world. So it basically says what's possible for one person is possible for everyone. And, especially if someone has done something that you want to do. So I would make sure that you are, believing in yourself with that Five of Pentacles there and the Star. The Star is also about your focus. The Star says if you focus on accomplishing one thing, then good things will happen for you. So I would focus. You have this Tulip card. It says great passion on it. That's the only thing I would focus on if I were you. Ace of Wands, right? Ace of Wands is something that you are passionate about. It is a passionate new beginning. So with this great passion card, I would make sure that you are inviting more passion into your life. We kind of said this with the Sun, that you need to create a place that gives you nutrients, right? You need to do the things that fulfill you. And usually things that we're passionate about can totally fulfill us. And that's what I would focus on. You have this crown. It says honor and respect will come to you. I'm going to actually pull you an extra card because these two cards are very similar. This card here says position of authority, and a lot of you could be gaining positions of authority. Now, we have the Temperance card here, and the Temperance card has this glowing crown at the back here. This is called the path to glory, and so it's to get this position of authority, you have to get started. There's nothing more to perfect, right? And I feel there is kind of a little, part of this reading is really saying Don't try to be perfect. Just get started and you will get this position of authority. You have this Pale card. It says time to get out of a situation. Yeah, if there's anything that's holding you back or slowing you down, I feel it's definitely time to get out of whatever that is. You have this Peacock. It says beware of great pride. Mars retrograde. Even though we're not in the retrograde anymore, we're in the shadow until the beginning of May. So I would say anyone who seems cocky or arrogant, or anyone who's coming at things from a position of pride, I would be careful. Next, you have this Older Man. It says dealings or relationships with an older man. You also have this Tiger card. It says doing something risky, taking a chance. We kind of are in a time of risk. Now, I always tell people to be careful of like uncalculated risks. Don't take risks that aren't calculated. Also, with Pluto in Aquarius, I think that we're all being asked to take a specific type of risk, which is the risk of exposure. You have the sun twice and the star. Basically the type of risks we should be taking are, the risk of speaking up at work, the risk of asking for a raise or promotion, the risk of public speaking, the risk of starting a YouTube channel, right? Anything that could, expose you. Those are the types of risks we should take, because that's where our best opportunities are. And I'm not talking about real exposure here. I'm talking about shining your light, right? That's the risk you should take. But really good reading, Virgo. I love this. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.